most, or a lot of people here still, like, natural hair is so new that a lot of people don't even necessarily know what options are available for your hair. They don't necessarily know what the protective styles are, thank you, outside of like added hair or braids or something of that sort. So with that said, protective styles are 2-strand twists, braids, updos, even coils like comb coils, finger coils, hand coils, 2-strand twists I said already. You can updo your 2-strand twists. You can do twist outs. Twist outs aren't a protective style necessarily. If you're wearing a twist out, that moisture isn't going to stay retained in your hair for weeks on weeks on weeks, just as it would if you were doing, or if you had an updo or a flat twist updo. So those are some things to keep in mind. A roller set is another style that you can do while you're natural. That isn't a protected style either. You're not necessarily maintaining the moisture in your hair when you do that type of style. It looks nice, it won't damage your hair, but you just should keep in mind that that's not the way to necessarily keep the moisture in your hair for a long period of time. It might last you for like a week or two, maybe a week, as far as keeping that moisture in. So with that said, a lot of the times when I have my clients, I'm trying to coach them into doing some of their hair at home by themselves, because a lot of times they'll be like, I don't want to touch it, you just do it all. I'm like, girl, you're going to have to learn this because I won't always be here. So usually the first thing that I teach are Bantu knots, which are so simple. They're really, really easy. So I'm going to show you how to do a Bantu knot at home. 2 different ways to do it. You can do it while it's wet or while it's dry. I personally like to do it while it's dry. I will blow dry the hair out first and then do the Bantu knot. It gives more of a fluffy curl and it gives more length. Usually I want some more length. But if you want more volume or you don't care about the length, you can also do it while wet. So I'm just going to take a section here. I'm just going to wet it down a bit because whenever our hair is wet, it's much easier for us to comb and get through. So generally speaking, you want to try to avoid combing your hair while it is dry or has certain types of product in it. So if you notice, first I'm using a large tooth comb. Her hair is fairly curly, and this is actually how you can tell somebody's curl pattern as well. Her curl pattern is true to light. I would say she has a coily, curly, wavy type of curl pattern. These are coils, but they're very loose coils. And it has some curl to it, which is giving it a little bit of frizziness as well. So as I move forward, first I want to make sure that I am moisturizing her hair properly. So I'm just using this one little area. It's a little bit of butter I'm putting in my hands. I'm melting it down in my hands first, so it goes away or it becomes invisible like. Then I'm adding it onto her hair. This is the key right here to moisturizing our hair. Just this alone is going to change all the rest, or it's going to be different than all the rest of her hair because it has that moisture in it. So it was already wet. I put the butter on it to hold that water in. Now I need some styling product because her hair is more on the frizzy end. Plus I want that curl to last once I do the Bantu knot. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the product, put it on here. Because I put that thick butter on it first, it's protecting the hair from drying it out, because styling products, they freeze hair. They freeze it in place. So it's meant to control the frizz, to control the style, to keep the curls in place. Then I'm using a completely different comb. This is a very skinny comb. This is one of my best kept secrets as well. This is a styling comb. This helps to keep the hair detangled when I do it. So this is really important when you're doing your twist outs. This is usually what people are missing when they're doing their twist outs, because they're not fully detangling it. They're using a larger tooth comb. Okay, so now that I have detangled the hair, I've added the 2 different products that I need for it. There are 2 ways that you can do the Bantu knot. You can either twist it into a 2-strand twist and then Bantu knot it, or you can do it just this way alone. So first I'm going to 2-strand twist it, and I apologize if you're on that side. If we can maybe turn you just a tad bit.
Did she have product in her hair prior to?
Yeah, she had some oil and leave-in conditioner in it. Usually I wouldn't have those products in it, maybe a little bit of oil and butter, and that's about it. Okay. So right now I'm going to do 2-strand twists. So I'm twisting it all the way through to the ends. And then I'm taking it in the direction that I twisted it in. See her natural curl starting to bounce there. Twisting it in the same direction that it was in, and then twisting it around itself and holding it here. Twisting it underneath itself. Twisting it underneath. Twisting it underneath. Twisting it underneath. If you're twisting it right, it should be able to hold on its own. I don't need a pin, I don't need a elastic band, nothing of that sort. That's right in place. So she can do that all over her hair and let it and undo it, and it'll be a nice, curl from there. I don't have a dryer with me now, but that's a really, really easy style to let dry overnight, untwist it in the morning, and then you're popping and ready to go. The second way to do it I want to show you is when you blow dry it, because that gives you a completely different effect as well. Actually, before I blow dry it, because I'm doing this a little bit differently than the first one, and I'm blow drying it first, I'm doing the same technique of wetting it down a bit. It's not drenching wet. Usually she would have been just finishing from coming under, coming out of the sink, or, getting it washed. A little bit of butter, not much. You don't want to use too much butter because it will hold the water in so much so that it'll take forever to dry. So like if my client was getting a roller set or something like that, I would use much less butter because she will be under that dry forever. Even with Bantu knots, especially if you do them wet, it will take a really long time to dry, really, really long time. So you want to be selective in how much butter that you're using. So I just applied the butter on there. I did a little bit less than I did in that one. I wet it beforehand too, and now I'm going to blow dry it. One thing that's important to do, if you are going to blow dry it afterwards, you don't want to put too much butter also, because it will be so thick, the substance is really thick, that you'll have difficulty getting through the hair with the blow dry because it's so thick. The butter is also thick enough where it protects the hair, so you don't really have to worry about like heat damage or something like that, at least not from a blow dryer. All we're doing right now is just drying. Okay, so I don't need it completely straight. I just wanted to get it elongated. If you notice, you kind of see where her hair is starting to frizz. That's another indicator of her curl pattern type. Kinky hair doesn't do this. The kinky hair doesn't frizz like this. So you don't have kinky hair. I think you said you did. You don't have kinky hair, but that's one of the indicators here as well. So her frizziness. So I blow dried the hair out. So now this bit of hair will have more length, and it will have a different look to it than the rest of it. Now you might think it's a little bit strange that I'm using this product that the first ingredient in it is water, so it kind of wets the hair down a little bit more. But I'm not using a lot of it, and her hair is fairly dry, and it's already elongated. So before it starts to revert back to its original curl and its original length, I'm just adding some of this moisturizer or mousse to it. Notice though it's not drenching it. Her hair is still fairly on the drier side. So again, I'm going to use my skinny comb through it so that I get all of that detangle completely at the finest level. And then from here, I'm doing her twist, which is different than the first one. I'm not two-strand twisting it. Here, I'm twisting it just at the base. Now I'm noticing her ends, they might be a little bit more frizzy. I want to add a little bit more mousse to that. Twirl it around my finger. And then I'm coming here and I'm doing that same thing where I'm holding it here in the middle, twirling it around underneath itself, underneath itself, underneath, until I run out of hair and it's just there nice and tight. Not coming out, all staying in place. Now, because this hair in the back here was a little bit more dry, I can use my hair dryer and kind of focus on that area a little bit longer, or a little bit more for it to dry. So this section will dry a lot faster than this one will, because this was, much more wet. But I wanted to show those two aspects of the dancing. Another quick thing just to show too, because I know a lot of you all were interested in defining your curls. My style is a little bit different than Tamika because I don't actually offer wash and go services. I will usually give you the direction on how to do it from home. So for me, the way I would direct someone to do it is drench your hair in conditioner before you even wash it. Like a cheap conditioner from the dollar store. Drench it in it before you wash it, and then take a large tooth comb and comb it through. That's the first thing you do. Then take a smaller tooth comb, not this small, like the next size up, and then comb that through. Especially if you have kinky hair, this is what you do for the wash and go. Then you comb that through. Again, this is before you even wash it. Then when you go to wash out your hair, instead of tangling it all over again by shampooing it that way, get into your roots, but then comb it. Get into your roots and then comb it through. That will keep your hair detangled. A lot of times what happens is you will comb out your curls that you're trying to do your wash and go with, and then in the end you just have like this puff looking thing. So instead, comb it through with your fingers. Do the same with your conditioner as well. At that point, you really shouldn't need to comb it through again. You should already be detangled. By the time you get out the shower, you should look in the mirror and be like, oh snap, my curls are popping like I've never seen before. It's really like that, because I used to not be able to, I used to not know how to wash and go with mine, and then I did that and I was like, who knew that my curls were popping like this? So after you rinse out the conditioner, you've done it with your fingers, then you want to add your moisturizing agent to it, which would be the hair butter. After that, you need to add on the styling product that's going to freeze that curl in place. For me, I use the mousse. And in general, you can even see with just mousse alone how it can really help define your curl. So I would say her curl is already pretty nicely defined, but just to emphasize it a little bit more.
What about dyed hair?
What about it?
These particular techniques would work the same as far as if you're gonna go in, let's just say I'm gray, right?
Uh-huh.
So if I'm going in next week to get a color, a permanent dye as well.
Mm-hmm.
And should I moisturize before I go in for this permanent color? And then they wash and condition or whatever else they do? Because hair salons that are not, as you're stating, they tend to not want to share product information. In fact, they turn their products backwards, and you can't even read it on the counter. I'm just saying, for me, marketing strategy.
So that's a big part of the reason why I wanted to explain the difference between the different, types of roles: cosmetologist, natural hairstylist, braider, etc. There are different levels to it, and as a cosmetologist, when you provide chemical services that only you can provide, you kind of have a certain premium to you. People have to go to you. So with us doing natural hair, it's a little bit different. You might not have to go to them as much. So not that it makes it okay, but it's really unfortunate that that's happening. But to answer your question as far as color is concerned, you shouldn't have to moisturize beforehand. Although your cosmetologist may not be knowledgeable on how to properly moisturize your natural hair. It's really, it's a struggle. I've worked at a few salons here where it was tough for me because I'm looking at other people do people's hair and they're licensed cosmetologists, and I'm like, girl, that is not okay for that person's hair at all. So it's tough. It's a challenge. Your moisture has to come after you get the color, as well as before as well. So you should be doing like deep conditioning treatments, using products like the hair butter. That will help you the most. Although gray hair is a little bit different. Gray hair is very wiry. I'm sorry? It doesn't like to behave. It likes to do its own thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
What's your best recommendation on how to educate yourself on your hair and other people's hair if you want to get into making your own products and using natural ingredients for stuff like that? What's your best? How would I educate myself quickly? Because I feel like I'll go into one link and then go into another, and they'll say one thing, and then okay, so do I use coconut oil or do I use this? Like, what do I do? And so like, yeah, so like how, is there like a source of education other than taking cosmetology classes if you want to be, you know, self-taught and stuff like that?
So I don't have a universal answer to that. I can just tell you what I know. I recommend natural hair classes. I think it's naturalhairclass.com or naturalhairclasses.com. It's my stylist, my mentor that created the business doing it. I haven't really found too much that's comparable. Sometimes I come across teaching sessions, like sessions on Eventbrite where they're teaching how to do locks or how to do certain things. So I've seen those before. I haven't gone to them. But from my own experience, the best that I can recommend is naturalhairclasses.com, because then you learn the theory behind it. There's also a book called Milani, M-E-L-A-N-Y, that you can get off of Amazon that has a lot of really great information. It was the starter for my classes. Before I even started my classes, I had to read that entire book. So that taught me a lot about hair follicles and you know what's required to open up your hair follicle and get the conditioner in it and the treatments and whatnot. It explained to me the different types of oils and what types of oils to use. That's how I know that jojoba oil is a moisturizing oil, but coconut oil isn't, and argan oil is a strengthening oil. So if your hair is weak and brittle, you use that, but it's not really meant for moisture. So a lot of times I'll see these different products that have argan oil in it, and it's like, yeah, that's great if your hair is breaking off, but if your hair is not breaking off, it's not really doing much for you. But I learned that through that Milani book. So, yeah, you're welcome. Yes.
Okay, so I know you were talking about like combs to detangle. Do you recommend using?
I'm sorry, you were talking about what?
The combs to detangle your hair.
Yeah.
Do you recommend using like a wet brush or like a diamond brush for like curly?
Yes. So it kind of depends on the type of hair that you have. If you have very kinky, coily hair, I don't necessarily recommend it. I recommend the larger toothbrush to prevent breakage. But if you have more like curly, wavy hair, it may be helpful, especially if you're doing like a wash and go. Yes.
What is the mousse product you're using?
So this mousse product, it's not sold in Connecticut, it's only sold in Maryland, but
Well, we might buy it in Connecticut.
I can't find it in Connecticut, but other ones that I recommend, Nairobi has a really nice one. It's a little bit pricey though. I think it's like $12 or $15. The other one, Design Essentials, has a nice one as well. And then the product line that I use, Heradox, they have one as well that you can buy on the website. I don't have any with me today, but those are the main ones that I know you can buy locally or at least buy online. They're really, really good. They are not your typical mousse that people with straight hair use. It's completely different. It's not, it doesn't make your hair hard after. Like even with me using it on her hair won't be hard afterwards. But it is also essential that you're protecting the hair first with a moisturizer. So that helps to keep it soft as well.
Now, is that one water based?
Yes. So most mousses are. That's the
So
first
I can use
ingredient
that
in
for my
it.
thin hair?
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it will help to control the frizz.
Okay.
It won't give you more volume necessarily. Yeah. But techniques would be like blow drying it out. So like I'm gonna blow dry this piece here. It's gonna give her more volume than if we just left it, kind of damp like how it is. Yeah.
You keep saying wash and go. My question is there such a thing as overwashing your hair?
Yes, when it comes to the shampoos, so first off, just like cosmetology school where it's not necessarily catered towards our type of hair, neither are the products. So the products tend to be very just like strong and harsh on our hair. So if you're using the shampoo with this really strong chemical in it regularly, that's going to be kind of harsh for your hair. So you're going to want to use something a little less harsh if you're going to do it on a daily basis. So for example, my mom does a wash and go, or she used to, almost every day, but she was using a co-wash, so it's not as harsh on her hair. Yes.
Vitamins, are there, I mean, I've heard so many people with vitamins, different vitamins.
Yeah, so Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you
Okay.
call me.
I do think vitamins are really important. For me, I'm a little bit different because I'm vegan, so I take vegan multivitamins. And I generally recommend fruits and vegetables to everyone. It's really important. Biotin in particular is for hair or helpful for hair, but it's an overall body balance type of thing. So that's why even when it came to moisturizing your hair, like yes, there's the hair butter, but there's also the scalp piece to it. There's also making sure that you're using the right type of professional. That's why I explain it all the way through that way. So even thinking about your body overall, if somebody comes to me and they are having issues with their edges or their hair being dry, one of the questions I have is, what's your water intake look like?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's an overall body
thing.
piece as well.